Okay. So in the last session, we did discuss about how to implement TDE using asymmetric keys tied with the Azure Key Vault. So today's session is just continuation of the last, where we're going to implement TDE with always on and using Azure asymmetric key and Azure Key Vault. So before I do that, first I need to start my services. It won't start as this is VM. I need to create this folder because everything what you place on D drive will be vanished. I place my temp.db files here, so it will be gone. Just give me a second. I will just start the services and then um, I'll show you from the scratch. I need to remove the things what I tried yesterday. So I'll drop off everything and I'll show you from the scratch. Just give me a couple of seconds. And as I promised, I'm working on this. Just I will show you. So these are all the performance tuning sessions. You just need to watch them sequentially. You don't need to go anywhere else. If you want only performance tuning, I mean to say, so just you need to watch them sequentially. Based on this Word document, you will be going to cover all the videos what I did till now on performance tuning using this document. I already did this for always on issues and migration as well. So I'm going to prepare this for performance tuning. And after that, as we have done many classes on SMK, TDE, column level encryption, always encrypted. So I'm going to prepare one more Word document where you can find all the security related stuff at one place. Okay, this way, if you want anything related to particular topic, you don't need to search my entire Excel sheet or Word document. You can just refer these documents. So that will help you to, go through my content easily rather than, because if I just open up this Excel, there are too many classes. So yeah, there are chances for us to lose. So that is the reason I'm just segregating the topics and I'm putting them into one document. We already did this for migration, I believe. So let me show you that migration also. Um, yeah, migration videos with my training. So if you see this, these are all the migration videos what we got uh, with our training. Migration to on-premises, migration to MI, migration to Azure SQL, everything is there. So you just need to refer this document if you want migration. In a similar fashion, we do have for always on. Let me show you that always on. Yeah. So you are facing different errors. If you want different errors related to always on. So everything is placed here. So all the different issues and what you need to watch out for. So this is for always on. So we have for migration. So I'm covering this for performance tuning. And after that, after this session, I will do it for security as well. I mean to say SMK, CMK, all this stuff. So that is what I am doing right now. I hope it will be easy for you. Okay, let me.
Are you going to give the document?
Yeah, I will share in our group.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Um, Let me open that. If you are not part of my group, you won't get this. If you are part of my group, yes, you will.
I'm not part of your group, sir. I have joined just
Uh,
now.
just now, then, then even if I give, since you don't have access, it's not possible for you, bro. D:\MSSQL. Let me finish this off. How many of you are using TD with Azure Key Vault in on-premises or on Azure VMs? I'm not sure. I think most likely what you use is definitely TD with symmetric keys, not with asymmetric. But if anyone is using with asymmetric, then this class will be very, very useful. And going forward, I guess most people will try to switch from the regular TD methodology to Azure Key Vault because Azure Key Vault is more secure, and that way you will be protecting your data um, uh, more securely. So I guess you have to have this knowledge. Otherwise, at that time you will always feel that panic. I mean, you will feel that pressure and you may go into panic mode as well. So that is the reason I am doing these sessions upfront. So you don't need to worry about them. In case if your organization is switching from regular storage of your certificates and private keys to Azure Key Vault. So let me show you that. Let me first launch the SSMS and we'll drop everything. We'll do from the scratch because if I show you up, you'll not be able to understand. So I'll show you from the scratch. So why we are not able to create the direct symmetric key, what we are doing onto Azure Key Vault directly? Anyone knows this? These are all bit complicated topics. If you are not worked on TDE, if you have worked on TDE, it should be easy. Let's wait for it to pop up.
We configured TDE with the log shipping, but as of now, we did not configure TDE in always on from my end.
TDE with always on, I do have videos. The regular TDE with always on, I did make videos on it. So I think I was showing this up, right? So um, can you see this? Let me. This is for column level encryption. If you have any column level encryption, if you add that to always on, what will happen? I think TDE is somewhere here. Yeah, TDE. So database is not getting synchronized with primary replica. Reason, because when you are adding TDE to always on, there are certain steps. If you don't follow that steps, your database will go out of sync or uh, what is that? Not synchronizing state. Okay, you can watch this in this video. This is the regular TDE combined with always on. But what I am showing today is with always on. Okay, with always on, and that too with asymmetric key tied with Azure Key Vault. So again, I'm saying that content what I'm showing up today is not there on the entire internet. There is no single video on this. Okay. So it will be new thing. So if you're not able to understand, you have to ask me the questions. You have to differentiate between what is the regular TDE and what is this asymmetric TDE and what is the difference between them. That is the reason I took the previous session. So if you have watched that session, it is easy to digest. Otherwise, it will be slightly difficult. Let
I
me,
have one question, Vamsi. Actually, it is a different.
yeah.
At the time of watching the videos, its volume is very low in the laptop. Could you please enable the stable volume from your end going forward the videos?
Volume, I think I'm with max volume. So is it problem for
No,
you
no.
or is it for everyone? I'm not sure because no
At
one
the
Yeah,
has.
time of
No problem for
I'm
me.
hearing from very low voice.
Yeah, at the time of watching in the like laptop,
Okay.
so it is showing the stable volume is disabled state. Okay, so in the YouTube, I think at the time of uploading, we have a options. They are saying that I search in the Google, it is
Okay.
displaying like a user and also like administrator and also we can enable that one. If it is possible, could you please check from once?
Yeah, just
From
connect with me after this call, or else I will connect with you tomorrow. I need to see what exactly is the problem and what needs to be done to fix that. I'm not sure
okay,
because
okay,
no one has raised this to me. So that is the reason. I think node one
okay.
is yeah, node 2 is secondary and node 1 is primary. So currently I have two databases, which is already part of Always On. So as I said, I need to drop them and I wanted to show you from the scratch. Um, don't worry. I think I have to refresh. Something should be primary or else I have connected to node 2, node 2. Okay. Let me connect to node 1. Node 1, node 1. Okay. Node 1. So this is primary. So let me drop everything or drop. Let's go on and this will also be not there. Okay, fine. Let me drop these two databases. Before I drop these databases, first of all, there is a series of steps that we need to do. Let me first drop the login. It will take just 2 to 3 minutes to drop this. And once that is done, we are fine to proceed. So let me drop the credential delete. yes. And then cryptographic providers. Have you ever seen this? Cryptographic providers. Usually it will be there. We won't touch that. But that is tied with your Azure Key Vault. If you are using Azure Key Vault, you have to make use of this one, like cryptographic providers. Let me do the same thing on Node 2. Security, first one is this one. Second step is drop credential. And the third step is drop cryptographic provider. Done. So we are fine to go. So I will drop these databases also. So there will be nothing for you to worry about. Let me drop this. We're done. So this is plain instance. Nothing is there. We didn't configure always on, nothing. And the same goes here. Let me drop these two databases. That's it. So nothing is there. So everything has been removed. So let's start. So the first thing is we have to follow this documentation, which is from Microsoft, which we already did in our previous session. So I have to make use of same document again, and we have to configure certain steps. If I wanted to restore this, or if I wanted to add this database to always on, I'm choosing always on because once I carried out this on primary server, I have to restore the database, right? Obviously. So that is the reason we are going to cover restore and how to add the database to always on related to asymmetric key. How many of you really are aware of symmetric key completely? So if I open up create symmetric key from Microsoft, create symmetric key, because these are our basics, guys. If you don't understand this, there is no point of me teaching this advanced topic. Doesn't make any sense. So I'm going with very basic, create symmetric key. Are we using symmetric key for TDE? So when we are doing TDE, let's take the steps of TDE steps. Are we using symmetric key anywhere?
No, we are not using.
Master key is a symmetric key.
So these are these steps, right? If you see, these are only 4 steps. If you are using TDE, only 4 steps are there. First step is you are doing inside master. First two steps. First 2 steps, you have to carry out this inside master database. This is DMK, this is certificate, and then you are using DEK. DEK, why I'm saying DEK? Because it is database encryption key. First 3 letters of the words, DEK. Okay, these are the 4 steps to create TDE. If you guys have ever worked on TDE, so these are the 4 steps. Where is the symmetric key here? We have certificate, that is fine. Where is symmetric key?
Database master keys.
Yeah. So if you see here, this master key is nothing but your symmetric key. Okay. So every key, like column level encryption or TDE, it is being protected by your symmetric key. So this is nothing but symmetric key. For column level encryption, you will see the same statement, but inside user database. But in case of TDE, you are seeing this inside master database. Why? Because you have to create this inside master so that for every database, the same certificate will be used when you are performing the TDE. When you are encrypting your database, it has to be inside master. When you are doing column level encryption, that means you are just working with one database. It's not with all databases. That is the reason you are going to create this statement inside user database. That is the only difference. When you're doing it for TDE, this will be done inside master. When you are doing it for column level encryption, that will be done inside our user database. Okay. So what is this create master key? Is it symmetric key or is it asymmetric key? Is it certificate or what is that? What exactly is that? So if you see here, create symmetric key. Okay. So read this statement. When a symmetric key is created, okay, when a symmetric key is created, the symmetric key must be encrypted by using at least one of the following options. Can you see this statement? This is from Microsoft documentation. I'm not showing you somewhere else. So official Microsoft documentation, what we are referring, what it is saying is whenever you create symmetric key, the immediate step is you have to encrypt that symmetric key using one of the following options. It should be either certificate, it should be a password, it should be another symmetric key, it is going to be another asymmetric key, or it should be from the provider. So in case of regular TDE, what we are using? Are we using password or using symmetric key, asymmetric, provider or certificate? Which one are we using in case of TDE?
we use password.
So series steps. Series step. Are we using password or
Certificate, I think.
certificate?
Certificate.
So if you see here, watch out this. We are using password. Okay. If I get the noise, I will just mute you guys. Don't worry. We are using password. Okay. We are using password. And at the very next moment, we are using certificate. So it doesn't mean that I have to use only one among them. We can use multiple techniques. So for TDE, what we are using is at the time of creation of DMK, database master key inside master database, we are using password. You are saying create master key encryption by password. So we are creating we are using password. And at the very next moment, we are using certificate. So it is mainly certificate. It's not with the password because password is of no use. It's always about certificate. So certificate is helping us to safeguard our uh, what is that? Sorry, symmetric key. Okay, symmetric key. So till now, what you are seeing on your environments are these 4 steps. And if you see this, this is symmetric key. The one what I'm going to show you is asymmetric key. That's what I'm saying. First, you have to understand what are the regular steps, and then you need to go with the advanced ones. Okay. The TDE, what you have seen till now is related to symmetric key followed by certificate. Okay. That is the reason whenever you wanted to restore any TDE database, you have to back up your certificate and then private key. Without backing up your certificate and private key, you will not be able to restore your database. That is the main purpose of TDE, right? So even if I get any backups, it won't allow us to restore because I don't have the certificate and private key. So you have to restore certificate and private key along with this. Yes or no? So I hope until this point you are with me.
Yes, sir.
This one, sir.
Yeah. And
Yes.
yeah, and one very important point here is if you notice this, okay, it is saying create database encryption key with algorithm. The last line is super important. Encryption by server certificate. So you're using server certificate here, means this one, nothing but this one. Okay. But in case of TDE with Azure Key Vault, okay. So come down. So this is what you will see. Encryption by server asymmetric key means your TDE is now being protected by asymmetric key, which is what I'm going to show you now. Okay. So let us start. I think I disabled everything. I cleared up everything. So cleaning up is done. Let me go to the portal and we'll start our session. I mean, of course we are doing, but I have to delete everything. So let me delete this as well. And there is one more thing and that's it. We are done. We'll start. So guys, I'm saying it again and again because if you don't understand the difference, then there is no point of discussing all this topic. Manage app registrations. In my previous session, the last session, I did show you this. So I'm going to follow the same steps again, but this time it will be with always on. I think it is gone, so don't worry. Refresh. Yeah. So the first step, again, I'm showing this document one more time, just to feel you comfortable. In case if you missed my last session, you can at least get it from here. Okay, so I'm following the official Microsoft page where they're setting up the SQL Server for TDE using EKM. They call it as EKM, Extensible Key Management, that is tied up with Key Vault. Key Vault. So if you're not worked on Key Vault, this is how you should configure your TDE using asymmetric key. The first step, what you have to do is you have to go to your portal and you have to create one app. That app has to be registered. These steps I already discussed in my previous session. So that is the reason sometimes I may skip without explaining you detailedly because I don't want to repeat that. That is the reason. Okay. So the first step is go to your services and choose Entra, and then under app registrations, create one new app. So that is what I'm going to queue. So I am under Entra services. So if you want, I'll just show you. So this is Microsoft Entra ID. Click on that, go to app registrations and click on new registration. So what we are going to do today is TDE with asymmetric key. So I'll say TDE asymmetric app, something that makes sense. Okay, TDE asymmetric app. Register and then go to your manage and go to certificates and secrets. So here we are going to create one secret key. So this secret key is helping us to safeguard our asymmetric key stuff. Whatever what we are going to create, the asymmetric key, that asymmetric key will be safeguarded with this client secret. Okay, so let me click on this new client secret. And again, I'll say TD asymmetric. I'll say TD asymmetric secret. Okay, click on add. And then you have to safeguard this value. If you don't safeguard this, then it is not possible to retrieve this value. That is the reason we are doing this inside Azure Key Vault. Because just imagine if you have that the certificate and private key on your servers, and if the entire server got hacked, what will you do in such case? Do you think TDE will protect us? I'm asking this question because in general, if I do TDE, let's go to the TDE steps, these 4 steps, right? So yes, you have done TDE, superb, and your database is now protected. And you have backed up your certificate and private key. That is also done. Okay, but now the question is, what happens if your server got hacked and if he gets your certificate and private key? Do you think TD will stop him from restoring? Because since he got that certificate and private key, what he will do? He will immediately restore it and he will be able to attach also. Then you are gone, right? That is the reason we are using Azure Key Vault. Once I use Azure Key Vault, of course, we didn't start Azure Key Vault, but to have that Azure Key Vault, we need to have this app registration as well. So at the time of app registration, you have to create one secret key. So this is the key that will be used. So no one will be able to see this key. And even the portal admins also will not be able to see. I'll show you this. Of course, I've shown this in my previous session, but I'm showing this again. So just safeguard this value. Just safeguard this value. That's it. We are done. We are done with app registration. The next step is go to key vaults. Okay, go to key vaults and then create one key. Create one key vault. So go to performance. Choose the right resource group and name something that is meaningful. So I'll say, what is it? TDE asymmetric. TDE asymmetric key vault. That is fine, right? So TDE asymmetric is what I'm doing for my key vault name. TDE asymmetric. Choose the region. I'm in North Europe. So let me choose North Europe. And the next step is click on next. And then you have to give some permissions. What is that permission that I have to create? So I created an app, right? So that app will be used here. So all these the things what I am doing is there in my previous session. That is the reason I'm not explaining you get, list, unwrap and wrap, because that is being explained in my previous session. So I have to choose the 4 permissions which are required for me to carry out. If you have any questions, this is being mentioned here step by step. We are just following the same thing. Okay, create key vault. Okay, the same thing. And now we are using vault access policy. I'll show you that. Don't worry. See, get, list, wrap, unwrap. I'm just following this documentation. I'm not doing something which is not available. Let me go there. Where is my this one? Yeah. Click on next. And now you have to search for that app. So just search with TDE asymmetric app. This is the app what that should have permission. So I'm choosing that app. Click on next. This is fine. No need to worry about application. Click on next and click on create. And finally, review and create. We are going to create Azure Key Vault now. So here there may be a question related to who will carry out the first 2 steps, app registration and creating Key Vault. As I said in my previous session, it entirely depends upon your organization. If you're having permissions at portal level, you are supposed to carry out this action. If you are not having permissions, then your infra team has to carry out these 2 steps. Okay, you may or may not be aware of these 2 steps. It depends upon your organization. Most of us will not be having permissions to create all this stuff what I'm showing, but it is good to know what is happening behind the scenes, because if something goes wrong, you will be able to help them up, right? That is the reason. So we created our asymmetric key And then we have to create, where is that? Keys. We have to create keys. So let me go to access policy, not here. So you can see that TDE symmetric app is having get, list, wrap, unwrap key permissions. Okay, so under objects, you can create something called as keys. So I have to create one key here. This is the most important step. Okay, so again, I'm saying I'm just following up the same steps what they are saying us to create. We are doing the same thing, but once this class gets finished, once you are used to these first two classes, watch them a couple of times, then I will explain you the very internals of this topic. Because if I start it now, you will not be able to understand these topics. That is the reason I'm just showing up this documentation for the moment. Okay, generate or import, click on that. So what is my T? TDE asymmetric key. I'll just say TDE asymmetric key. Okay, that's it. You just need to create it. So in your real time, again, I'm saying in your real time, for your TDE certificates, or TDE what you are doing. Okay, where is that TDE steps? Oh, I didn't remove this. You have to rotate your keys. How many of you are rotating your TDE certificates? Are you aware of that at least? I mean, if you're junior DBA, it's fine. But if you're a senior DBA, you have to rotate your TDE keys for every 1 year or so. It is for auditing. When auditor comes into picture, like any auditing, HIPAA or I don't get the names on top of my head. Many auditings are there, right? KPMG or PCI. There are many audits, right? So at the time of auditing, they do check your TDE keys. So you have to rotate for every 1 year. Okay, so yeah, EY, Ernst and Young. So let me search this. I think this is EY only. Yeah. So if you're not doing that, then they will ask you to rotate your key. So how will you carry out this rotation is one more topic I will show you up in my next class. But if you are using this methodology, like with Key Vault, you can just click on this option. You can rotate, you can set this option here itself. You don't need to worry about your key rotation also. That is the beauty of using Azure Portal or Azure Key Vault. You don't need to worry about your rotation. So if you want to rotate, I'll just show you quickly. Rotate TDE certificate. This will be done for every 1 year. So if you see here, this is the article. Okay, so there will be only one step to rotate this. Where is that one step? Yeah, this is the step that you have to do. You have to create a new certificate and then you have to point out that new certificate using this command. Only one command. That's it. You don't, but
Vamsi, I think Vamsi,
Mhm.
we are getting emails that the certificate is going to expire and you will
Yeah,
need to rotate your keys, right?
yeah, yeah.
You will get emails, information over the expiry certificate is going to expire. It usually give 1 month time. It's notify you. We can do that.
If you ask me the best practices, you have to set an alert for your certification expiry.
Yes.
So
Yes.
you have
Yes.
to set
Yes.
an alert.
Yeah.
So that alert notifies us saying that your TD certificate is going to expire and you have to create a new
Yes.
certificate and then you have to run this command. So this is the
Yes.
regular TD rotation, what we carry out in our environments if you are not aware. But if you are going to use this Azure Key Vault, then you can do it from key rotation policy. Okay, so I'm just giving you a glance. So I will explain rotation in the upcoming classes because we are still with basics. Okay, click on create. We are done. So these are the first two steps that you have to create. So once those two steps are done, then it's all with DBA. Do we have any other options? Unlimited expiry date. No, we don't set unlimited expiry because it's always a bad practice if you go with unlimited expiry. So there should be some expiry date even for our certificates. So that way, we can create new certificate. So this is how, but it's always recommended. I don't think you will use expiry date. Do you use expiry date for your certificate?
No, we don't.
Yes, Vamsi.
Some,
Vamsi, I have the environment, so where we do that of the expiry of the certificates.
yeah, it has to, and that's what I'm saying. You have to set up the expiry date. If you are not doing it, at least when auditors comes into picture, they will ask you to create a new certificate and rotate that. So it is internal to the company. If you want more security, you have to do this. If it is just a simple kind of domain what you are working, it's okay. They may take it lightly, but it is always good to know that TDE certificates needs to be rotated. That is the thing that you have to keep in your minds. This is applicable for on-prem Azure VMs or GCP or your what is that EC2 everywhere. So you have to keep this in your mind. Okay,
I think
let's.
impact is that if you do not do that, okay, database will be out of the sync because of expiration of that certificates of
It
these,
won't
right?
stop SQL Server from running, but
But but
it
database is out of the sync.
I will show you this. I will show you practically. You will come to know. Okay. I'm just muting. So let's start now. This is done. So the next step is all from SQL Server side. So let's go and let's start our steps. So this connector, I already explained, this connector needs to be installed on your servers. So I did tested something. You have to install this software, guys, because if you don't do this, what I noticed is if I go to my registry editor, there is an entry key that is coming up after installation. That is what I noticed. So if you skip this installation and if you try to just copy that file, you may face problems. So it's better to install that. That's what I feel. Can you see this? SQL Server cryptographic provider, Azure Key Vault. So every time when I'm doing this, okay, it creates a new key inside my registry editor. That's what I observed. So it's better to install this software rather than just copying these files. Like I'll show you where it is. So if I go to the C drive,
So where to install this tool actually?
this tool has to be installed on your DB server.
On each of them.
Looks like for the moment. Okay. If you wanted to use Azure Key Vault, again, I'm saying for your regular TDE, you don't need to do this. If you want your TDE with asymmetric key tied with Key Vault, then you have to.
Okay,
Because
on each of the instance.
each of the instance. So let me show you this. So if you don't do this, what I observed is you may face problems with registry editors, registry entry. So where is that program files? Under program files, there is something called as, can you see the SQL Server connector for Microsoft Azure Key Vault? So my idea is, what if I just copy this folder to all the servers because it has to search for the DLL. So once it has the DLL, it should work. That is what I predict. I mean, I assumed. But again, after doing a bit of research, so I can see an entry inside registry key. Okay, so if I miss that installation and if this key is not there inside my registry editor, it may throw some errors. So that is why I better recommend to install it. But I didn't test this. Maybe I'll create one new server tomorrow or day after tomorrow, and I will not install. I will just copy this and see if that affects or not. This is what I'm talking about. Your registry entry. Registry entry comes into picture only if you install, right? So if you just copy that folder or file, I don't think this will comes into picture. So it's better have this software installed. But I'll test this again before I comment it strongly. At least on one server you have to install. For sure that I can say. But on the other replicas, I will test and I will update you. Okay, let's go on. This is the third step, which we already saying. So this is what I'm saying. Add registry key to support EKM provider. It is actually, you don't need to run this step. I tested this, you don't need this. But in case if you are having any problems with registry editor or some errors, you have to check this step. You can leave this step for the moment. Our actions start from here. From step 5, it is DB actions that needs to be done. Okay. So the first step is you have to enable that advanced options and you have to enable EKM provider. So I'll just do the same. Come here and you have to do this on node 1 and node 2. First, I'll do it on node 1 because ours is primary is node 1, right? So let me do this on primary and then we'll see it on node 2. I already enabled this, so that is why it's showing 1 to 1. But if you are not enabled, that is the first step. Second step, as I told you, you have to get this software installed. So once that software gets installed, this is the default location for that software. C:\program files, what is that? SQL Server connector for Microsoft Azure Key Vault. If at all, if that is not there, if it is in some other location, you have to provide that location. So once you create this command, so then under security, you will get this cryptographic providers, some entry under cryptographic providers. Currently it is empty. Currently it is empty. So once I run this command, okay, immediately you will get an entry inside that cryptographic provider. So refresh. Now you will see this. Okay. So this cryptographic provider, if you run this command, you will get this entry. So this, what is this cryptographic provider and how it is tied with Azure Key Vault? What is asymmetric key? So there may be many questions. Hold on now, because these are not such an easy topic for me to explain. First, we'll address the demo and then we'll do reverse engineering. Okay, so we are just following the Microsoft documentation for the moment. So this is done. Okay, then you have to create your credential. Credential is nothing but, let's talk about proxies for a second. So I mean to say, for example, why Microsoft has given this option for us, proxies for these things. What is the main purpose? Proxies. Anyone knows why we use proxies and when we use proxies? Come on, I think you can.
When
Yeah,
we don't want to expose our admin.
any job.
exactly. You got the point. So it's very simple. When a non-sysadmin user, okay, when a non-sysadmin user needs to run any of these job steps. So if you see here, when I create a new job, if I go to steps, okay, just wait for it. So we have different job types here, right? Type T-SQL, SSIS, analysis, all this stuff. If you see proxies there, okay, all the job types, whatever you are seeing on my screen, it's there under proxies. Can you see that? Operating system command exe is followed by PowerShell. Replication, we have distributor, merge, queue reader, snapshot, every log reader agent. I mean to say replication agents is falling under there. Analysis services is also there. Command is there. Everything is there except T-SQL. Why T-SQL is omitted and why the other job types are appearing under proxies? Why not T-SQL?
T-SQL is on the bottom of that list.
Yeah, T-SQL job type is there, but
All
under
right.
proxies, can you see T-SQL? That's what I'm saying.
Because SQL commands can be run using as a user as well.
So very simple. You don't need to break your heads. If it is a T-SQL job type, okay, even a non-sysadmin user can run this job without any permissions, without any problems. But if it is anything apart from T-SQL job step, then a non-sysadmin, if he is the job owner, he cannot execute it. It will get failed. You have to create proxy for him so that he executes on behalf of that account. Under proxy, you will make use of some other account which has the right permissions, and then you will use that account. In the similar fashion, what we are doing is we are creating credential. Okay, we are creating credential, and that credential is being tied with logins. Okay, why we are using credential here? Because also I will give you one more example. Even if you are trying to back up to URL, right? So I hope you are aware of backup to URL, Azure backup to URL.
Yeah.
Yes,
So
Vamshi.
at the time, definitely at the time of restoration also, and even at the time of doing this stuff, you will create some credential, right?
Yeah.
Why I need to create credential? The same story again. So credential is the one that is mapping up this kind of stuff. In the similar fashion, what we are doing is expiry date. What is the new message? Is it mandatory to run cryptographic provider in C drive? Not mandatory. You can place it in some other drive also. No issues. But by default, it is in C drive. Where are we? I just lost. Yeah. In the similar fashion, we are creating this credential similar to our proxies. Okay, so that is the reason I'm creating that credential. So I hope this is clear. So I'm addressing two things here just for your interview purpose also. They may ask you in interviews like why there is no proxy for T-SQL. Can a non-sysadmin user can run T-SQL job type? Yes, a non-sysadmin login can run T-SQL job type without any proxy. But if it is anything else apart from T-SQL job type, then I have to make use of proxy. for a non-sysadmin user to run that job if he owns the job. If he's a sysadmin user, you don't need to create proxy. Okay. Let me cancel this and let me create that credential. So this is where the things what we created on portal will be used. So let me show up that. Copy this entire thing. And then I will show you what needs to be done. Okay, create credential. Credential name can be anything. I'm just using the default. What is this one with identity as something doc sample ekm Key Vault? This is nothing but your Azure Key Vault name. So whatever the Azure Key Vault name what you have given, you have to make use of that Azure Key Vault name. My Azure Key Vault name is TDE Asim. So I have to pass the same name. Okay, this is your Azure Key Vault name. Replace that. Okay, and you don't need all this stuff. Remove this. Remove this as well. So what is this secret and how to create this secret? Secret is nothing but now go to your app registration. So this is where I told you right at the beginning, I need to safeguard some key value. So now you will see why I told you this. Where is that Entra? Entra, go to your Entra and go to app registrations and under all applications. So this is the one, right? So if you see here, I created one secret. Can you see this now? It is not appearing. It is being marked with asterisk. And it is not possible for anyone to retrieve this value. Anyone. I'm the portal admin. I'm the administration for this entire portal, Azure portal. But even myself, I'm not able to view this. Okay, so that is the reason I'm saying if someone hacks your database, it's not possible for anyone to get this value. It is impossible. Impossible. So it is super secured compared to our regular TD. But there are few challenges. I will show you what that is. Are you getting my point? So this value is not being exposed at any cost. That's it. So this value has to be safeguarded somewhere. So I just dropping this into your notepad. So that secret key is nothing but it is a combination of application ID, this one, and that value what I copied into my notepad earlier. So copy this value, go to your notepad and paste it here. So it's combination of application ID and secret key. So when you copy that application ID, just remove that hyphens. Otherwise, it won't work. Just remove that hyphens for application ID. This one and this one. That's it. We are done. So copy this entire string and give this to your secret. So this is the secret what we are using. Okay. So let me run this statement now. So it is done. Now the next step is you need to add the current login. So as I said, proxy, right? Kind of proxy. We are doing the same thing now. We are adding our current login to that credential. We are mapping that. So I will show you that again. Just give me a second. So what is my current login? It is SA. Can you see this? If I open up logins, where is login? Yeah. Any login if I take, okay. So there is something called as map to credential. Map to credential. We didn't do this. For your information, we can map the login to certificate. We can map the login to asymmetric key. We can map the login to a credential. Okay. So that is what we are going to do. So credential we just created. We need to map the credential. Now we are going to do this. For SA, if you see this now, currently it's not mapped to any credential. We are going to do this now. So let me do this. Now if I refresh, if I go to properties, can you see this? It got mapped now. Mapped to a credential. Our login is mapped to a credential. So this way, no, I mean, you'll get to know again. So just hold it for a second. I mean, I cannot explain it now. Now it's the step to create asymmetric key. So we are going to create asymmetric key now. Let me create that. I will go with the same key name or else I will, okay, I'll drop this because it's already there, I guess. Let me drop this, drop asymmetric key name. Okay, so my provider, what is this provider? Provider is nothing but your this one cryptographic provider. So that remains the same with provider key name. What is this Contoso RSA key? This is nothing but your key what you have created. So let's go to key vaults. So you have created a key, right? So that key is the name that I need to pass. So my key name is TDE asymmetric key. This is what we are mapping. Let me do this. So do you think this is easy compared to our traditional TDE? This is very complicated, right? And we are tying up, we are tying up with that key. It is inside the portal and SQL Server is trying to map that from using this DLL. So how these things are connected? Let's try to do something here. What is that? Draw that IO. Yeah. Just we'll try to explain something. We have a asymmetric key here, right? A asymmetric key I'm going to create inside SQL Server. How does SQL Server know something that is there on Azure portal? How it knows? There has to be some mechanism, right? Okay, let's talk for a second. How will you create backups to URL? How that is working at least? Azure backups to URL. How do you think that the SQL Server is aware of that backup and all, which is there on the Azure portal? Let's discuss for a second. Azure backup to URL. Go ahead.
We will have a credential. We have a credentials.
Yeah.
And we have a secret key.
Okay.
So
using that like portal location folder, and the first couple of portal locations are in the
So
credentials.
you are saying some secret key and all, right? So let's for example, let's choose the easiest one.
That includes in there. Yeah, that included in the credentials.
Yeah. So once the storage account is in place, what you will do is you will create a credential, right? And then you will provide some secret, that is SAS token and all, right?
SAS token, yeah. SAS it's a part of SAS token, not full
yeah,
one.
Yeah. So that is where you are getting that relation with backup to URL, because SQL Server doesn't know anything what is there on Azure portal, right? It has there should be some mechanism for SQL Server to understand what is being created inside portal, and that too with your storage account. In the similar fashion, if I'm going to create this asymmetric key, so how does SQL Server knows that that it has to create asymmetric key which is there inside Key Vault, and that too with that key what we have created? It is with credential again. Okay, so what we are doing is we are going to create asymmetric key. So that is being safeguarded by our credential, and that credential is using using a secret key. Okay. Let me pull this a bit down. Asymmetric key is using credential, and that credential is using an app registration. What you have done, that app registration using application ID plus some keys, secret key, right? So that is what is happening, and this application and secret ID is being tied to our Azure Key Vault. So this is what is happening behind the scenes. So there are so many things that are involved before creating the asymmetric key. It's not straightforward. First of all, you should create this one, and this will be this gets used by Azure Key Vault, and this will be used by your credential, and your credential and then asymmetric key is using your credential. So these are the 4 things that are being tied with each other. So if you see here, I'm going to create asymmetric key. Okay. And then I'm opening this key. Which key? The key vault. Under the key vault, I have created a key, right? That key will be used here. So what is the name? TDE asymmetric key. That is the name that I have to use. And I'm saying, what is this creation underscore disposition equal to open existing? What does it mean? No one knows. It's just that is there on the internet and I'm following the step. Not like that. So we are saying that the key is already there in the Azure Key Vault. Just open it. Okay. This meaning is nothing but the key is there on the Azure Key Vault. So that key is nothing but the key what we created. That is the name what we are pausing. And we are saying go and open that key, what is there on the portal inside your Azure Key Vault. So that is the key that is the statement what we are passing. Creation underscore disposition equal to open underscore existing. Open the one which is already there on the Azure Key Vault inside your portal. That is what we are doing. Let me run this command. So that is done now. So these are all the things that are tied to create this step. It's not that easy, I do know. So again, what we will do is instead of creating SA, we'll create a dedicated login, just like proxy. We'll create a dedicated login for proxy, right? In a similar fashion, to map this up, I will create a dedicated login by name TDE underscore login. And then I will add that credential to this login. I will map that credential to this login. So what I will do is, first off, let me go and I'll show you from the GUI instead of CUI. So I map it to SA at the beginning, right? Just unmap this. Okay. And then use this login and then map this login. Add it. Okay. So this is what you should do. Specify a asymmetric key. I have not created asymmetric key. Where am I? Node 1 only, right? Just a second. Let's say, did I remove this? Let me refresh and properties. Yeah, mapping is removed. I think I created this. Let me just run this again. It should throw an error. Yeah. And go and map this credential. Azure keyword. Okay. Specify an asymmetric key. That is what we are doing, right? Sysadmin underscore EKM. Okay, let me do with with command TD underscore login. Sysadmin. Did I create the credential?
So for SA, it might have added that credential.
Yeah, I just unmapped that. Now it should work. Yeah. Sometimes I don't know why GUIs really don't work. CUI is always better. Yeah, we are done. These are the steps, guys. So first you have to create the credential with that secret and then map that login to existing user like whatever using at that time. So I was using SA, so I just mapped that and then create asymmetric key, unmap that credential and map to a specific login. This login is similar to our proxy. That's what I can say for the moment. So we are done. Now the final step is test your database. So I'm going to create a test database and then create that asymmetric key. So let's do that. Okay, and then come and run this statement. This statement, what I'm going to show you up is completely different from our TDE. Use test TDE. Asymmetric key. What is the key name? We are given the same key name. So create a login. We did that, right? What is the thing? The asymmetric key, yeah, doesn't have a login associated with. We have to have a login associated with. Create a login and credential. That's what we did here. Let me refresh. We do have the login here. Hope I am on the same server. Yes. Asymmetric key doesn't have a login. Did I miss anything? Credential, alter login, add credential, sysadmin. Yeah, sysadmin is being tied with identity keyword. That's fine. Asymmetric key, yes, doesn't have a login associated. Okay, let me do this again. I'll just unmap this. Yeah, it doesn't work from here. Let me use commands. First, I will go with SA because if I know it is not there, just to be okay, it's not mapped. TD underscore login. Okay, and then add this login. Okay, and then run this. Oh my God, the asymmetric key. Okay, let me drop this again. Don't worry, guys. These errors do pop up. We don't need to panic. Uh, okay, this is inside master, so makes sense. Yes, I dropped it, and map this. GUI is always a problem. Okay, so what I have to do, I will just drop that credential again. I'm just following the steps again, nothing else. So first run this credential, done. Next, I will try to map to SA first. SA, okay, done. And then I have to create the asymmetric key, run, and then I have to remove SA from that. Done, and I have to add TDE login here. Done, and then use TDE, create this. My God. Asymmetric key doesn't have a login associated with it. Create a login and a credential for this key to automatically access the EKM. What I'm missing?
For login, we are adding credential, but not asymmetric key, right?
1 second. Let me go to the document once. Hmm, 1 second, guys. I guess something with the registry editor. Yeah, can you see this? A new entry, TDE Asym Vault Azure Net. We are just creating this, right? Can you see TDE assume? This is the one what we created, TDE asymmetric key. Where is that? See this one? This is the key vault name. So it got created. Key vault name under key vault name dot vault dot azure dot net. So that got created when we created the credential. That is fine. So I got that key as well. Can you see this TDE asymmetric key slash some number FB16 something. So this also looks fine. The entry is there. What it is saying, the asymmetric key doesn't have a login associated with it. Mhm. I, I will remove this line from here. It's new window. Okay, now let's go to master.
Vamsi, you need to create other credential.
Yeah, better to create a new login.
New,
I, I
new,
will I will do that.
new credential also.
New credential also. Okay. Let's do like demo. And I'll create a new login also. Better to be on a safer side. TD login without any spaces. I'll say TD login here also. Just I created the login, nothing else. So create demo. Okay, let's go with new credential. Done. New credential, that is fine. Now what I have to do is I have to map first to SA with my login first. I'm saying SA because I'm using SA. Oh, first I have to unlock this, right? Okay. Not from here, better to it. 1 second. TDE underscore login. First remove this. Okay. I just created credential. First step is done. Then I have to map login with new credential, which I missed. That is done. Okay, login is done. And then I have to create, let me go to document once. This is done. And then I have to create asymmetric key. Yes, we are going to create asymmetric key with this statement. I will say asymmetric key underscore demo just to get a new asymmetric key. Oh my God, demo is also there. Demo test. Huh? Let me check what is there. Select star from. Cryptographic provider GUID public key string SID algorithm RSA private key asymmetric key. Okay, let's do this. Okay, done. Create yes, and then what I have to do? I have to unmap the SA demo. Unmap this. Okay, done. And I have to map this new login. I will say TDE login instead of underscore. TDE login. So this is going to be underscore demo. Cannot drop the credential because it is mapped to this. I am not dropping. Oh, I need to add. Add, not drop. Done. So now if I come over here, what is the name? Demo underscore test. Okay, now let's see. Oh my God. I think we did perfectly fine. What went wrong? Create login from asymmetric key, but it's not create login from asymmetric key if I'm not wrong. Can you see this? So yeah. Sorry. TD login from asymmetric key. Okay. That is the problem. So let me drop this login. It's not dropped because I mapped it. Okay, and then see, this is the problem. If we miss some basic, we are gone. Copy. Sorry for that small problem, guys. TD login, and then this is the one what we have to use. Okay, now we are creating it. TD login, the server principal login already exists. I didn't drop this, drop this. Okay, and then create this. Okay, and now come and do this. Oh, I'm rushing today. TDE login. What is that? Add, right? TDE login, add credentials is administrator demo. Yes. And now run this. Yeah, it will go now. Okay, so small mistake, it will hamper you. So when you are creating the login, it has to be from asymmetric key. So if you are creating normal login, it won't work. So this is the thing what I missed, and yeah, it happens. Don't worry. So finally, we created the database. Created the asymmetric key, and we need to turn on the TDE now. So if I go and run this statement, this is my last statement. We are done. Done. So if you check the database encryption keys, you will see now your encryptor type is asymmetric. Usually, if you see, this will be certificate. You can check in your environments. Your encryptor type will always be certificate. It will not be asymmetric key. If you are using asymmetric key, you have to carry out all these steps. Okay. So now we are done. We added this database to always on. Sorry. We didn't add. We are going to add. So let me create always on. I'm using this wizard because I cannot add the database to always on. If you want, I will show you. So if I go wizard, you will get to know why I'm not doing that. I'll say AGTT, some dummy name. See this straight away, it says doesn't meet the prerequisites. Oh, sorry, prerequisites, not this one. Let me take the backup first, backup and log backup also. I'll write from here because it will be easy. Backup, database, test TDE to disk equal to C colon, I'll say C colon temp. Okay, C colon backups is there. I'll throw it there. Test TDE back. Test TDE.trn. Yeah. Now if I try to do this, it will show the error. I mean to say, it won't allow us to add the database which has TDE from always on. See, this is what I'm saying. Contains a database encryption key. It is not a password to enter, guys. You can enter this if you have column level encryption, but that is not the case here. Okay, so this is not column level encryption. This is TDE, so it won't allow you to do from GUI. So you have to use yeah, I just got something from Office. So yeah, contains a database encryption. So you can't do it from here. You have to use the commands. So that is the reason. First, I will set up the always on, and then I will use commands to join the database. So just go there and add the secondary node SQL 2K1602/inst1. Click on OK. Oh, I didn't give the name also. AGTT. Okay, it got created. Let's check if they are in sync. It will not be in sync. You just need to click on join. It will get joined. Don't worry. So connect. Okay. So refresh. So we are done. So both are done. Now we need to add this database. So we can choose add database. Even if you do it from here, the same story contains a database encryption key. It won't allow you to add any database. I'm talking about the regular TDE as well as this asymmetric TDE. So if you have TDE, it won't allow you to add the database from GUI. So you have to use commands. So I think command is somewhere here. Alter database. What is that command name? Add the database to always on. Yeah. Alter availability group name, add database. So just go and run that command. My AG name is AGTT. Add database test TDE. Okay, it has to be run inside master. So copy this and I'll do this here. It's done. Now my database is part of always up. Now I need to restore this database onto secondary. So what are the steps that I need to carry on now on secondary for this to work? So that is the biggest challenge what we have. On the secondary, what you need to do is do the same steps. Okay, do the same steps. Same step is nothing but enable this advanced option, create cryptographic. So just copy as is. Cryptographic, yes. And then add credential to demo. That's right. Let me copy everything up to here. And then if there is any asymmetric key, I need to drop that. Let me check that and I'll drop here itself. TDE test key, EKM asymmetric key. So I'll drop this too. There is one twist here. So that is what I just wanted to show you guys. So I'll show you just a second. So it is done. Okay. And then what else? Drop. Yes, we dropped it and then create the asymmetric key again. That's here I need to do. And then we'll add the login and we need to drop the login. Is it before login or drop login? So let me check that. Yeah. Create login and then drop the credential. Okay. Create login. Create login and then create login. Asymmetric key, drop login and then add login. Last step is add login. Yeah. So you need to do the same steps here. We'll just carry out one by one and it will be finished. Run. This is done. Cryptographic provider. Yes. Credential. Yes. Add login. Yes. Open as create asymmetric key. Did I not run this? Hey, come on. I'm doing the same mistake again. Alter login essay. Map to a credential. Okay, first let me drop this. First step is this one. Okay, and then create asymmetric key. Did we create this? Server principal. Okay. I'm logging with SQL 2K16 node 1/1c. So if I do essay, it won't work. So this is the mistake. I'm sorry. So let me do this again. It is SQL 2K16. Whatever the login that you logged in, that has to be the same thing that you have to pass on. Otherwise, it won't work. INST1. So this is the login that I mapped it. I logged in with because it does SQL 2K16. Okay. Yeah, SQL 2K16 node 1/1c. Oh my God.
You're given the node name. Should be the login name.
Wait, let me check my login name. Select yes user. Instead of doing this, better to check from here. This is the one what I should give. Now let's see. Okay, that is done. And now create the asymmetric key. Done. And now create that login. Done. And now unmap that login. So this has to be this one. It's good to get some errors. So that will be little confident. Yes, drop.
Remove the
Drop.
twice.
Yes, and then finally add this login. Yes. So we have done all the steps with asymmetric key. Now, do you think if I back up and restore straight away, do you think it works or not? Let's test that first, and then I will see that. So in regular TDE, what you have to do, you have to back up your certificate and private key. We don't have certificate and private key here. If you see the steps, it's just the asymmetric key. Do you think we can back up asymmetric key? There is any such statement like backup asymmetric key for SQL Server? Anyone knows this? I just tested this yesterday. There is nothing like backup asymmetric key in SQL Server. Okay, it says backup encryption. There is no way to back up the asymmetric key. That is the thing that you will be amazed to see, and or maybe you will get surprised. There is no statement like backup asymmetric key. We have backup service master key, we have backup symmetric key, we have backup certificate and all, but we don't have backup asymmetric key in SQL Server. Backup, right? So let's see this. Backup database. So do we have something here? Server certificate, we have server asymmetric key. There is different. Let's see something like backup keys, backup symmetric key. Okay, we don't have something like backup asymmetric key. That's what I'm saying. We have backup symmetric key, we have backup certificate, we have backup service master key and everything, but we don't have backup asymmetric key. So now if I wanted to copy this, do I need to copy like certificate and private key? That is not there because you are using encryption key, DEK being encrypted by your asymmetric key. So it's not possible for us to take backup and all. So what I should do now? Let's try to restore it first and see what happens. So let me copy this to secondary server. Let me copy that backup files and see what happens. There is a little catch here. I thought I need to test that. I didn't get chance yesterday, so I'm doing this right away now. Let's see. So I have the backups here. Let me copy these two files and restore it onto C colon backups. I don't need this. I'll just delete that. I don't want you to get confused. So now let's try to restore this and try to add that database and see what happens. Because if it is TDE, it won't allow us to restore without backup the private key and certificate in regular TDE. But this is asymmetric key. So let's test this out. Will it allow us to restore it or not? Relocate and then restore with no recovery. Okay, so see, that is the difference. So it is allowing us to restore the database happily. And now let's restore that log backup. C colon backups TDE files, relocate, replace, no recovery. Okay, and now let's try to add this database to always on. Currently it is in that yellow mark. So let's try this. See, I didn't restore certificate or private key. We just followed the steps, whatever that is needed, that needs to be done on secondary. You have to create that cryptographic provider, you have to create the credential, you have to log in with the login name what used, and then asymmetric key. So once we are done with these steps, that's it. We can directly create the database to always on. So that is the difference between the regular TDE when you're adding to always on and this one using asymmetric key. Okay, so if you want, we can failover also. I didn't test the failover yesterday. Let's test this just to see. Failover. It's working fine. Okay, these are the steps, guys. Again, I'm saying bit tricky, bit hard to understand, hard to implement, but security wise, this is the best. And apart from this document, okay, search, you can search also if you want. I will show you right in front of you. What is that? Configure TD always, TD database always on using Azure Key Vault. Nothing is there. Nothing. This is our regular, sorry, this is the only document what you are seeing on the entire internet. Okay. So there is no document or no video on this topic. Okay. So when I check this document and see these instructions from the, what is that? Other. So he said on the principle, do these steps. Okay. On the secondary, what he said is first you have to create the database. So he's saying first to create the database and then set up this EKM and all the steps. And then he's asking to restore database with replace option. We didn't do that. We just created the EKM credentials, everything. And then we restored the database straight away. We didn't do this. So do you think we missed something, or this step is, this document is not correct? What is your thought on this?
No, we did not miss anything. I think like once we restore the database and is sync, so it should be okay then.
Let's see. Do you think this TDE is turned on here? Let's check that. Select star from sys.em_database encryption keys. So TD, test TD should appear here. So database 5 is nothing but test TD because I don't have any other database. We can check this from SP Help DB. So database ID is 5. Okay, so that means we don't need to follow that method what that instructor or that author has mentioned in this article. You can straight away restore your database with no recovery of full and no recovery of log, and you can add the database to always on. And you can clearly see on secondary node SQL 2K16 node 2, because this is secondary node, I am with asymmetric key. So you don't need to follow that. Will it give the same thumbprint number? Yes, if you want, we can test this. So on the secondary, this is something like, let me copy this, 2DA something. So let's refresh. This is secondary now. Node 1 is secondary. Let me fail over and see if we are getting the same thumbprint number or not. Okay, it's done. So now if I go and check this database encryption, we are on node 1, 0x2D8173. Let's check both of them. 2D8173, 2D8173. One at the same. One at the same. Okay. So that is a beauty. So this article is slightly misleading. You don't need to create this database. It's not required. You can just straight away restore the database with no recovery and restore the log and join the database. You don't need to create the database and then configure the TD. No, you don't need to do that. We just need to set up the EKM and credentials. That's it. We are done. But it is the only article that is available on the internet. For your information, I don't see any other article. This is the only article that is available on the internet, but this is not required. Maybe at that time, because this article is being posted in 2016, 2017, maybe at that time, that might be the requirement. We don't know, but currently it is not required. Bresh, I think you are...
Might be a typo as well.
No. He's an author for a few books. So Prashant Jairam is an author and is a very good DBA, is well known in the DBA community. I don't know him personally, but I have seen few books and a few articles by him. So definitely at that time he might have faced a few problems, and that is the reason he may have said like this.
There is another way. There is another way as well doing that as well. So it will work that way as well. So there's nothing wrong in there.
Yeah, I tried yesterday with the same steps. It worked, but today I just wanted to see if this is really we need to follow this or not. So it's not required. So I like testing. I don't want to just follow the instructions what is there on the internet. So we are done. So any questions? So if now you tell me, like, asymmetric key is easy to restore or not? It's easy, right? We don't need to back up the certificate and private key.
Yeah,
you can straight away. But these are the steps that you need to follow on secondary replicas, and we need to figure out whether we need to install that software and all the replicas, or it's just one replica that I need to test? I will add a new server and I'll test that part.
For one scenario, let's say we have a server now and we don't have always on, and we create those Azure asymmetric keys. But later on, let's say after a year and or 2 years, we decide to have always on those servers. Then it will be difficult to find all those things, like carry out all those steps.
See, only thing is, if you are aware of this secret, then
Yeah.
these steps are simple. If you don't safeguard that, what is that?
The secret we can find in the SaaS token, so that's okay.
No. This is, see.
Okay. Secret is the
right?
combination of two.
Yeah. So if I go to that app registration, so you will not find its secret key again. You are gone. So again, you have to register with a new app and you have to do all the steps. If you lost this stuff, let me go to the certificate. So this secret, you are gone.
Yeah. Right. Okay. So we need to save the secret somewhere.
Exactly. You have to safeguard that secret. Otherwise, it's not possible.
All right. Okay. It's a combination, like that secret is combination of this value and another one in
application ID.
Application ID, yeah.
So it is there here overview. You will see something called as application ID. You have to get this.
Okay.
Number.
But is it definitely mandatory to have both of them together,
both
or just could be or that many number of characters or something like that?
No, it's mandatory. You have to have that.
Okay. All right. That's why it's making a secret, because that value, the previous value is hidden somewhere. It's gone. So that's why. Okay.
Okay then. So any other questions?
See why we are using the same account from which we are logging. Again, we are dropping that. So that steps are mandatory.
See, at the time of creation, yes. Let's test tomorrow. I'll test this tomorrow, because if I don't map this login, okay, see the steps. Watch this carefully. First credential is created, and then we created the asymmetric key, and then we created new login tied to that asymmetric key. Okay. So at the time of me creating the credential, after creating the credential, if I'm trying to create this asymmetric key, it is throwing the error that this the credential is not mapped to any login. So you have to map the credential to at least one of the logins, to the existing logins. I mean to say any existing login. So that's why they are saying add the credential to the SQL Server administrator's domain login. Means if you are part of any group, of course, we are not one DBA, right? So we are part of DBA group. So you have to add the DBA group name here first, and then you have to create that asymmetric key. So once you create that asymmetric key, then only you will be able to create a new login, map it to that asymmetric key. So once you create that new login, you don't need to use our DBA login. You just can drop that and just use this TDE login. You don't need to grant any permissions also. Just a plain vanilla login. That's it. Yes, when you ask me, yes, I would say yes, you have to add our DBA group here and then create the asymmetric key, because without mapping to any of the existing logins, it is not allowing me to create this statement.
Got it. And one more question, like if you want to practice this, so this Azure Key Vault and those things are like expensive, like in terms of costing?
It is free. I mean to say it is not expensive. It's just one time, right? It won't cost you. You can practice this very much. You can practice. There is no harm trying with the free account as well. It won't cost you. Okay, so I will make a document. As I said, this performance tuning is I'm going to prepare by today. So I'll share this, and I'll share the security part, means CMK, SMK, all this stuff under one roof. I know I made few mistakes at the time of creation of login. I'm sorry for that. I just overlooked. But anyways, error is good. That it helps me to think differently. Okay then. Thanks for your time. I will upload this video in short time. Thanks for joining, guys.
Thank you, MC. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.